Welcome to my YouTube channel Buckingham Daddy TV. Adekono sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the empty space beside him. His heart was heavy. It had been only 4 months since his wife, Funk, passed away. She had been his love, his partner, the mother of his children. Now, she was gone, and life had become a painful routine of grief and loneliness. His 2 children, Bolu, 8 years old, and Dora, 5 years old, had not stopped asking about their mother. "Daddy, when is mommy coming back?" Dora had whispered one night, her big eyes filled with confusion. Adekono had no answer. How do you explain death to a child? How do you tell them their mother would never walk through that door again? People around him, his friends, his mother, even his pastor, kept saying the same thing: "You need to remarry, Connor. The children need a mother." At first, he refused. It felt too soon. But loneliness is a powerful thing. The nights were long, the house was empty, and raising 2 children alone was not easy. Then he met Dupe. Dupe was different from Funk. She was confident, successful, and financially stable. She had one daughter, Taif, who was 6 years old. Dupe was kind to him, and more importantly, she showed interest in his children. Within a few months, people were already saying, "She will take care of you, Connor. Marry her." So, he did. After some months, Adekono's wedding to Dupe as his second wife finally arrived. He is wearing a well-tailored traditional agbada in deep white, complemented by a matching filler cap. Dupe, on the other hand, is dressed in an elegant, colorful orange outfit adorned with gold jewelry. They stand together in a beautifully decorated hall, surrounded by family and friends who are clapping and smiling in celebration. Adekono has a reserved but hopeful expression, while Dupe looks confident and happy. In the background, Bolu, who is 8 years old, and Dora, who is 5, sit quietly, observing the ceremony with uncertain expressions, while Taif, age 6, claps excitedly. The atmosphere is festive, but there is an underlying sense of uncertainty in Adekono's eyes. At first, everything seemed fine. Dupe moved into the house with her daughter. The children played together, and Adekono finally felt a sense of relief. He had a wife again. The house had laughter. Things were getting better. But soon, small things started changing. One day, Bolu came to his father, frowning. "Daddy, why did Auntie Dupe give me only 1 piece of meat, but she gave Taif 2? Are you sure?" Adekono asked, surprised. "Yes, Daddy," Dora added, her voice small. "She also said we should stop calling her mommy." "But Taif calls you Daddy." Adekono brushed it off. Maybe they were imagining things. But as weeks passed, the signs became clearer. Dupe started locking her fridge. She kept the best food for herself and Taif, while Bolu and Dora ate whatever was left. She no longer helped them with their schoolwork. If Taif wanted something, she got it immediately. But when Bolu or Dora needed something, Dupe would say, "Go and ask your father." One evening, Adekono returned from work to find Dora sitting outside the house, tears in her eyes. "What happened?" he asked, kneeling beside her. Dora sniffled. "Auntie Dupe said we should not watch TV. But she and Taif are watching cartoons." Adekono felt something snap inside him. He had ignored too much. That night, he watched closely. He saw how Dupe spoke sweetly to Taif but gave Bolu and Dora short, cold replies. He saw how she laughed with Taif but barely looked at his children. The next morning, Adekono called Dupe into their bedroom. "Dupe, what is going on?" he asked. "Why are you treating my children differently?" Dupe sighed and crossed her arms. "Connor, they are not my children. I try my best, but I can't love them like my own." Adekono stared at her. "But you knew I had children before you married me." "I did. But it's not the same." Adekono felt his chest tighten. He had chosen her, thinking she would love his children. He had believed she would be their mother. But now, he realized something painful: Dupe never saw them as her own. That evening, Adekono sat with Bolu and Dora. He looked into their innocent faces. The faces of the children Funk had left him. "Do you miss Mommy?" he asked softly. They both nodded. Adekono felt tears in his eyes. "I miss her too. And I made a mistake. I thought someone else could replace her. But I was wrong." The next day, he made a decision. He sat Dupe down and said, "I cannot stay in a home where my children are not loved equally. You and Taif will have to leave." Dupe was shocked. "You are choosing them over me." Adekono stood firm. "I am choosing my children. I was their father before I was your husband, and I will always put them first." And so, Dupe left. For the first time in months, the house felt like home again. It wasn't perfect, and it wasn't easy. But Adekono knew one thing: his children deserved love, and he would do everything to give it to them. After Dupe left, the house fell silent once more. This time, however, it was a different kind of silence, one that felt peaceful. There was no longer tension or unfair treatment. Adekono understood that raising 2 children alone would not be easy, but he knew one thing for certain: his children needed him now more than ever. Days turned into weeks as Adekono adjusted to the new routine. He woke up early to prepare breakfast, ironed their school uniforms, and walked them to the bus stop. In the evenings, he helped them with homework, read bedtime stories, and listened to their little worries. One day, his boss, Mr. Olumide, called him into the office. "Kyo, I've noticed that you've been struggling with work while managing your responsibilities at home," Mr. Olumide said. "You're often leaving early and occasionally coming in late. What's going on?" Adekono sighed. "Sir, I have no one to help me with my children. It's just me now." Mr. Olumide nodded in understanding. "I get it. I lost my wife years ago as well. Listen, here's some advice: find a balance. Your children need you, but you also need to provide for them. You can't do everything alone. Have you considered hiring a house help?" Adekono had thought about it, but he was hesitant to trust just anyone around his children. "It's hard to trust people, sir," he admitted. "That's true," Mr. Olumide agreed. "But sometimes, help comes from unexpected places." Thank you for watching Buckingham Daddy TV. Please subscribe for more stories. That evening, while picking up Bolu and Dora from school, Adekono noticed an older woman standing outside the school gate, selling snacks. Mama Tope was kind and patient with the children and always smiled warmly at them. Adekono greeted her. "Mama Tope, good evening. How is business?" "Oh, my son, we thank God," she replied, wiping her hands on her apron. "But it's not easy. My bones aren't as strong as they used to be." An idea struck Adekono. "Mama Tope, do you know anyone trustworthy who can help me look after my children? Someone who can be like a grandmother to them?" Her face lit up. "Oh. Me, of course," she laughed. "I love children, and I need some extra income. If you don't mind my old bones, I can take care of them like my own." Adekono smiled for the first time in a long while. "Let's talk, Mama Tope." A new beginning. Within a few weeks, things began to improve. Mama Tope moved in during the weekdays, helping with cooking, cleaning, and taking care of Bolu and Dora. She treated them like her own grandchildren, and they quickly grew attached to her. "Daddy, Mama Tope makes the best jollof rice," Bolu declared one night. "And her puff-puff is so sweet," Dora added, her mouth full. Adekono chuckled. It felt good to see them happy again. One evening, as he sat outside watching the sunset, he reflected on everything that had happened. He had loved Funk with all his heart and realized that he had tried to replace her too soon, which was a mistake. However, he was learning that love is not always about finding someone new, it's also about nurturing what you already have. His children were his priority. He would raise them with love, patience, and strength. Maybe one day, when the time was right, love would find him again. But for now, he was enough. Thank you for tuning in to Buckingham Daddy TV. We invite you to subscribe for even more amazing stories. Your support means the world to us.